Hey guys, it's me, Chili, aka Naima, and I'm back with another video. And I had to get on here to talk about this trend going on and the romanticization of entrepreneurship and being a business owner, especially a young entrepreneur. Let's talk about the romanticization of being your own boss and the rise of entrepreneurship in 2026. If you've scrolled on social media, especially TikTok in the past, I don't know, ever, you're going to come across people who have started a business or who are thinking about starting a business. And the truth is, business runs and rules on social media, and it is the literally new way of promoting your business. This whole be your boss lifestyle has kind of gone too far. It's actually one of the best things possible for young people, in my personal opinion, but we're going to get more into that in the video. There's been a growing number of younger people who have been starting their own businesses on social media, posting about it, and doing pretty well for themselves, especially because e-money is very long right now. The appeal is super strong, especially because of the fact that Gen Z is facing so much uncertainty. Millennials too, especially with the job market and the fact that no one knows what's really going to happen next. A lot of young people are seeing the traditional career path of go to school, get a job, get into a career, stay there for 20, 30, 40 years, and then you retire and then you have a pension and a retirement plan. Those things for Gen Z, they have seen, especially from childhood. Millennials and Gen Z have seen those things virtually wiped away, especially in 2008 and the crisis that happened there. And Gen Z was a little kid, and if we could go back, we would buy that house when we were 8, but we couldn't. And the truth is, those jobs that we've been promised and that we've been expected to also follow in the footsteps of our parents and grandparents don't actually exist in terms of the security and the reliability that we once expected. Being people being let go for the simplest reasons, or companies having worker shortages but then not hiring, or having worker shortages and then firing people because they don't fit their company culture that is changing. Change is super real right now. And as businesses and culture shifts, Gen Z is riding the wave and trying to shift along with it. Finding a way to make ends meet and to pay your bills, to be an adult and to do the adulting while also maintaining a sense of stability. And for many, especially younger people, that is meaning taking that means jobs. It means taking on odd jobs. Maybe you're working a 9 to 5 and another side, you take side quests. And it means that you do 9 to 5 work and maybe you take a side quest. It means that maybe you just do gig work. I mean, for some, it means that they run a business. For some, it means that they take gig work. Some means that they are stay at home, whatever it is that you do. I guess comment below. And so the appeal is strong between working at a corporate job and then potentially getting fired, or potentially not getting along with your coworkers or whatnot. And because the opposite side is this: financials and inflation and all of these things are brutal. And people understand this, and Gen Z definitely understands that. In order to make ends meet in the current economy that we have going right now, taking on projects and being able to lead teams is going to be one of the biggest upsides, one of the biggest advantages in the future. But let's talk about I might have to scratch that last part because that was about the reality. But let's deep dive into the reality of being a business owner and the nitty gritty of what it means to run a business. If you guys don't know, I haven't even introduced myself entirely. I have been running my own online businesses, working in e-commerce, if you guys don't know, I started this YouTube channel to document my journey as a business girly in my 20s. And one of the ways that I started out with running my own business is when I was 16, I started a handmade business, selling crochet wear on Etsy. And then I graduated to drop shipping and working e-commerce. And now I've landed with designing and also with helping brands grow and scale. I also grow and scale my own brands and currently working on a few projects, including an herbal tea brand. So that's quite a lot. I'm not doing all of those at once, thank goodness. But I will tell you guys that having passions and being a passionate young entrepreneur is something that I definitely can speak from. So if you guys are looking to start a business, definitely check out my videos on my channel. And I also have some resources that should be linked down below. I'm going to tell you guys the nitty gritty of what it means to run a business and to go into business for yourself as a young entrepreneur. Deep breaths. A lot of times that the things that aren't shown enough are the challenges that go along with running your own business. And that can mean so many things for different people. So if you've never your own business or seen someone run a business, it's definitely going to be challenging to understand the hurdles that you may have to face when you're just starting off. So something as simple as getting that EIN number may be seemingly daunting and difficult, but once you get into actually running a business, the starting is definitely a lot easier than doing in the process, because that's when you will be tested mentally, you'll be tested sometimes financially, and really taking into account that the mindset that you go into business and running your own business with, it's a lot different than what it is to be working for someone else. Responsibilities and the pressure can be on at some points, because if you don't make your own, if you aren't strict, if you aren't disciplined, if you are not able to meet your own deadlines, no one else is there to take the blame for that. No one else is not there for it. It does fall on you because that's your responsibility. Let's see. And the reality is, I'm probably making less than my friend. The reality is, you're going to probably be making less than your friends starting off, especially until if you start a business when, let's say, 18, you're going to be working. And yes, your friends are going to probably be going to college and doing all of these things. Not to say that you can't do that while you're running a business. Everybody's situation is different, definitely. But taking into account the fact that the workload of running a business and the fact that most businesses don't make money until year 5, and sometimes it does take until year 5 for some businesses to see that profit. I'm not talking about cash flow, but I'm talking about profit and having a profitable business that is paid off. All the investments that you put into it are paid off, and it's a well oiled machine. Another thing is that a lot of the majority of businesses, they say around 99% of businesses do fail within that 5-year mark. So the businesses that survive that time really do come out on top. And within that next 10 years, you'll also, within its first 10 years of starting, you'll also continuously be challenged. And the main thing that really helps is, and a lot of things, and the great thing about that is, and that's the reality of running a business. And from a young person's perspective, the social aspects can be challenging, of maybe the time that you were spending with a partner originally, or with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, friends, can be hindered because of the fact that, yes, I am actually locked in and working on something. Yes, I'm actually actively building something right now. I may not be able to spend as much time with you as possible, but you'll be able to try to, quite literally, you're going to have to schedule sometimes your family and friends in and really work on your time management skills. And the effects of that psychologically is very real. A lot of entrepreneurs also report that they do deal with the drawbacks of the isolation that comes from building something. Even if they do have a co-founder, even if they do have an entire team, those effects of everything relying on you can be quite heavy at times, especially if you don't have those support systems in place, or if they've been depleted because of the fact that you are working for so many hours on end. And the unfortunate part is that there is no one to blame, because, like I said, it does fall onto the person who's running the business and how they're running their business, and the lifestyle change that comes along with, whether it is the success, hopefully, or the challenge or the drawback or the learning lesson that comes with business. And that leads me to the next thing of that lifestyle change, Vivi, is going to be big, and you're going to have to make lots of lifestyle changes, maybe taking out certain things that you really enjoy doing and then putting other things that you need to do instead. And financial planning is one of those things. Financial planning and making sure that you have budgeting for rainy days, that your finances for your business run really well. And a lot of times that is overlooked, especially when you see the glitz and the glam of people starting a business, doing really well, and then having their money mismanaged. That's something that you really don't want to do as a business owner. Literally winning the lottery and then going and then just throwing it out in the street in people's like lawns or handing out your money. You don't want to do that unless you want to, but you want to be in a position also to enjoy the fruits of your labors and to not necessarily just start a bonfire with all of the money that you've earned from running your business that you've worked so hard for. And that leads me to the real thing is not knowing how to invest or financial planning. A lot of businesses fail in the first 5 years because of the financial aspects. What are the books looking like? Not knowing your books can be a really big hindrance. And let's face it, the most people are not going to be building this extravagant unicorn Google business. They're going to be building businesses that work with products that are good or bad or whatever, but they're going to be a part of their own experiences and looking and starting a business for the right reasons, for the learning experience, for the hands-on experience, as opposed to wanting to look like the people on social media. Because let's face it, you're going to get that reality check very soon, and that may come in the form of having to take on more jobs like freelancing and having to do odd jobs. And the path is sometimes nittier and grittier than Instagram will suggest. But just know that although overnight success stories are rare, they do exist. And the best stories are also from people who have put in work and do show up and see those results over time as opposed to overnight, because you want to put in the work and get all of those efforts out and have it last for next 10 years, the next 20, 30, beyond. And let me go back into the upside too. And just to recap things, the upside to all of this is the success, is the well managed finances, is the successful e-commerce brand, boutique, retail brand, freelancing site, I don't know, digital marketing, whatever it is that you find yourself actually going into and starting, which is super exciting actually. Just know that whatever it is that you decide to do, it can work out. And Delulu is the Delulu. As a person who has friends and in themselves are doing on track to do better than they did the year before, that's your main goal. And it should always be outdoing yourself. As a person who has friends who've done a couple million in the past year, definitely keep in mind all of these things while you're running a business and accepting the journey and understanding that social media can be there to help guide you a little bit, but no one can necessarily hold your hand and go entirely through what it's like to run a business. And that the only way that you can learn and get better at running your business is by failing, it's by doing, and it's by taking into account the things that you've learned in order for you to learn, grow. The truth is, you don't have to choose between a job and being an entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, help others. They help and add value to companies that aren't theirs, that they're not maybe not running, and they get rewarded and they get paid for doing that. And whatever your path is, whether it be working a 9 to 5 and running your business or taking on side hustles and freelancing your time, like how freelancing your time as I do, know that a lot of successful entrepreneurs also spent years and months learning and being in those roles before finding that success. So for all of you guys watching, may your path be right and you find the people who will help you along the journey, the right mentors and things like that. I will provide you guys with my ebook in the comments, which is Soft Life, and it really goes into an entrepreneur's guide for the starting entrepreneur. Definitely hit me up on social media, you guys, if you have any questions. And the question really isn't, am I the type of person who starts a business? It is, am I the type of person who can deal with the planning of a business, the starting of a business, and going the distance with the business? And if you've taken anything from the video, please definitely. And if anything of this resonates with you, once again, comment in the comments, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Bye.